What's up, guys? KAMIKAZE-FOX coming to you from International Racing League IRL F2 F1 2019 on the PS4 platform. And we are doing round 20 today, the penultimate round of this unbelievable season here at Germany. Waiting for a couple more drivers to show up. We're going to do an 18-minute short qualifying session followed by a 50% race. We'll run down the driver lineup as we see them as of now. Nexus Clone is Jared Fosbury in the McLaren. EFL F1 is Eric Pettington. Mumford Plays is Thomas Mumford in the Toro Rosso. Steph Christensen will be in the other Renault. Nexus Aspect is your new champion for F2. That is Kevin Harrison, who secured his championship last time out at Hungary, and we'll talk about that in a couple minutes. THR Fishy is going to be Shay Fox in Red Bull Racing. Speedy Suarez is Paco Suarez in the Mercedes AMG Petronas. Luis W34 is Luis Wassman in the Racing Point. TSR Perel X is Callum Jones, I believe is what his name was in the Williams. F3Y 1HD is going to be Felix Negwer. Meme 4617 is Sean O'Sullivan, and then we've got a newcomer, Napala 185. That is, and I'm probably going to destroy this name, but it looks like it is Henry Kukanen or Henri Kukanen, whatever. Can't say his name. We're just going to call him Henry. But it's spelled Henry, so it could be Henri, like Ontario Henri from France, the World Cup. We've got Jared Fosbury joining us on the live chat. So we're coming off of a championship winning round at Hungary last time out, round 19. Eric Pettington picked up his 6th pole position of the season and was able to almost capitalize on that, but due to time penalties, he did not win the race, and actually Kevin Harrison walked away with his 5th win of the season. It was the first time he's won since round 10 back at Abu Dhabi, but he was able to secure the championship. Eric Pettington came home 2nd due to the time penalties. Felix Negwer came home 3rd, picking up his 2nd podium of the season, and that was Pettington's 8th podium of the season, which is amazing for a part-time driver. Jack Yates came home 4th. Shay Fox was 5th. Callum Jones was 6th. Thomas Mumford was 7th. James Yack was 8th. And Reese March came home 9th. Now, 10th through 13th was all DNFs. That was Jared Fosbury, Sean O'Sullivan, James Hallworth, and Paco Suarez. Jared Fosbury, unfortunately, losing out on defending his title last time out. It was his 3rd DNF of the year, and he did it to himself with a little bit of frustration. He saw the championship slip away from him and had an issue with one of the Williams on track and crashed out of sheer frustration, giving himself his 3rd DNF. Sean O'Sullivan was wrapped up in a wreck as well. It was his 1st DNF since joining the league. James Hallworth came home with his 4th DNF, and unfortunately Paco Suarez with a league-leading 11 DNFs as he continues to struggle this year with the car, the handling, and he's had some rig problems in the past. He's had some throttle issues on his steering wheel setup. We'll see if he gets any of that straightened out today. But Kevin Harrison is your championship winner after last round. 283 points so far to his credit. He's got 10 podiums on the year, 5 of them being wins. Jared Fosbury, Jack Yates, and Eric Pettington still battling for the 2nd spot in the championship. Jared Fosbury, 217 points, and nipping at his heels is Jack Yates with 211. And Eric Pettington's been coming on strong since being able to make most of the races towards the end of the season. 189 points to Eric Pettington's credit. Now, Luis Wassman was able to catapult himself into the 5th spot in points, but he is way back with only 96 points to his credit. But he has shown some promising speed and looking like his former self the last couple of rounds. Looks like we've got Wei Lu is going to be in the Williams as well, and I see Napala has not picked a car. We'll see what car he gets put in. Now, Harry Cooper is going to be 6th in points. He's no longer with us. He has left the league. Jorge Correa hasn't shown his face in a number of weeks. He's 7th with 78 points. We're going to assume that he is not going to make it back for the rest of the season. Daniel Tamberg was banned back after his incident in Japan. He is 8th in points with 71. Shay Fox, though, does have the chance to move himself up the order here after today. He's got 69 points to his credit. And Felix Negwer, if he's looking at another good finish today, Felix Negwer is currently 10th in points with 53. He can move himself up the grid as well. So I want to thank everybody for joining us today. And I do want to apologize for last week. Last week was not my best showing as far as being a commentator. A little bit of confusion on track. There was a little bit of confusion with the race strategy with Eric Pettington. We saw him cutting corners. Apparently, you have to cut corners 3 times in order to get a time penalty, so he took advantage of that, trying to separate himself by cutting corners twice. It was a ballsy race strategy that he tried to pull off. He did run it by the admins before doing it, and apparently they said it was okay. So, a little bit of confusion there. I was not completely set with the points last week, so it was a little anticlimactic last week when Kevin Harrison won the championship. But a big congratulations to him. Amazing drive this year. But we still got 2 rounds to go. The battle for second is still up for grabs between 3 drivers. And Germany is always a little bit hectic when it comes to online gaming. The track is very narrow. It has the stadium section, which is even more narrow. It's nothing like its former self, the old Hockenheim, which used to race through the forest at 200 plus miles an hour. It isn't even a shadow of its former self. And we've got Shay Fox joining us on the live chat as well. And it looks like Kevin Harrison is lagged out, so we're going to have to send him a new invite according to the live chat, so we'll get that up and going here. So 13 drivers. And a new rule instated this week heading into round 20. Apparently with the new safety car update, IRL has managed to find another glitch in the game. And being that if the safety car does come out and you are the lead car, you are able to pass the safety car and go around the track and essentially be the leader and start at the end of the field, essentially putting everybody a lap down. So that has been nipped in the bud. If anybody is caught doing that on a safety car, they will be disqualified from the event, and their finishing position will not be credited towards them. So we're going to do an 18-minute short qualifying session, and it looks like Kevin Harrison is back in. So hopefully he'll be able to regain control of that car. Hasn't left yet. And it looks like Callum Jones was the first one out on track in the Williams. Eric Pettington in the Renault. Thomas Mumford in the Toro Rosso. Speaking of which, no more Toro Rosso. It'll be AlphaTauri next year, and they did their livery reveal. And a lot of people seem to like it, but there seems to be a love-hate relationship with it. I think some people were hoping for something a little bit more dynamic, a little bit more true to the Toro Rosso. But I got to say, in my personal opinion, I think the AlphaTauri is a really sharp-looking car, and I think a lot of that has to do with the mere fact that the AlphaTauri just looks different. It's a different livery than anything else that we've seen in the past few years. If you take a look at Ferrari, McLaren, Mercedes, the liveries have been basically carbon copies of the year before. Yes, Mercedes did a little splash of red for whatever reason, and Ferrari went with retro numbers and a matte finish. And same thing with Racing Point. We get it. BWT's your sponsor. It's a pink car. The AlphaTauri looks sharp because it looks different than anything we've seen in the past few years. Now, it would have been nice to see this shade of blue on the car, that metallic Toro Rosso blue versus the matte blue, but still, the AlphaTauri looks sharp for next year. But right now, we've got Honda, Red Bull, Toro Rosso, Scuderia Toro Rosso with Thomas Mumford out on track. And got a lot of guys on their outlaps now. We've got the Ferrari with Felix Negwer, Luis Wassman in the Racing Point. And the Paula 185, that is Henry Buchanan. We're just going to call him Henry. He's in the Haas, letting one of the guys go by. And let's get some lap data up here so we can see exactly what's going on. Looks like Shay Fox is on a flyer. Got the DRS slot open. Looks like Callum is in the third sector. He's coming out. This is going to be his... So Thomas Mumford sets the first time at a 1:14.775. Callum looks like he came across with an invalidated time. And here comes Shay Fox. And Eric Pettington immediately to the top of the charts with a 1:12.870. We pick up Shay Fox, who just got into the stadium section here. Steph Christensen with a 1:13.815, so he's a second off the pace of his teammate. And Shea Fox runs very wide, coming out of that last corner. DRS slide open, comes across the line, 1:12.878. Good qualifying effort by him. And Jared Fosbury just came across the line with a 1:13.820. Pick up Callum Jones one more time. Coming out of the penultimate corner, back onto the front stretch. Nope, he's entering the stadium section, I'm sorry. He's got a car in front of him. That is the Toro Rosso of Thomas Mumford trying to get out of the way. And look at the livery on that helmet. It looks like an old leather helmet. And he is going to dive into the pits. His teammate, Wei Liu. Wow, Luis Wassman. 1:12.061. And he just set his time on the soft tires. He's 0.8 of a second up. We've got Jeremy Pope joining us on the live chat. Jeremy is an F3 driver in IRL. I'm not sure if he's participating in that race today or not, but always good to have another fan in the stands. So Luis Wassman at the top of the charts by 0.8 of a second. That is over Eric Pettington. But Pettington set his time on the hard tires. Wassman set his on the softs. Felix Negwer has gone 1:12.983. Looks like he set his time on the mediums. And Sean O'Sullivan, oh, he's in the Toro Rosso as well. He's on softs. Looks like he set his time at a 1:15.054. I'm going to assume he got held up in traffic a little bit. We're going to pick up Henry again. Henry is out in the Haas. Now, Haas unveiled their livery as well. Now, it's different from last year's livery. It's gone back to the black, red, and white. But it is, whoa, and a big off there by Henry. That'll probably invalidate his time. But the livery that they're going to be running next year is very much like the livery that they ran last year before they had Rich Energy as their sponsor, which unfortunately that fell through. Rich Energy, very shady company. The CEO has clearly got a lot going on. So that didn't work out, unfortunately, as much as we had thought it would. The black and gold looked great on the Haas this year, but they're going back to their black, white, and red. And Henry sets a time at a 1:13.559 despite that big off into the gravel. So that's a good time for him. Great qualifying effort after that. Pick up Paco Suarez. He is on an out lap, and he's coming across the line now to start a flyer. We'll hop on board with him. Suarez has struggled mightily this year with the handling of this game. He's had rig issues at home with the steering wheel and the pedals. See him fighting a little bit of oversteer there. See him making the adjustments on the steering wheel there. And it looks like we're getting a little bit of rain. Some wet weather here in qualifying, so this could shake things up a little bit. These guys, some of these guys that haven't set a time and almost loses the back end, they better set a flyer quick or they're going to be deep in the field. Paco Suarez into the stadium section now, and you see the rain coming across the camera screen. And if I was Suarez, I don't know, do you set a time or do you jump into the pits and switch over to softs real quick and try and set a flyer on the quicker tire because the rain's coming down? He's going to stay out. He's going to come across the line. You've gone 4 off. That may invalidate his time. Jumps to 8th quickest with a 1:14.489. 10 minutes left to play in this session. And we've got 3 drivers that have yet to set a time. We've got Kevin Harrison, who's currently in the pits. Oh, we just picked up Callum Jones. And he's had a big off and going into turn 1, but he does set a time good enough for 4th quickest with a 1:12.959. And I'm not sure if he lost control of the car because of the wet. The rain is starting to come down. We've also got Wei Liu as the only other driver to yet to set a time. So I'm going to pick up Eric Pettington. He's on an out lap, and he is going to dive into the pits. And it looks like Felix Negwer has retired from the session. He may have had an off somewhere on the track. His time is locked in at a 1:12.983, and the rain is starting to come down a little bit more. We've got yellow flags, sectors 1, 2, and 3 all over the place. The DRS is still enabled, so the rain isn't that bad to where they've turned the DRS off. Shay Fox is done for the session, 112.878. You see Negwer, looks like he pulled off there. And Jared Fosbury retires from the session as well. So 9 minutes left to play in this session, and it looks like the wet weather looks like we've got some radio chatter between Shay Fox and Sean O'Sullivan. Looks like Fox was having some issue riding behind O'Sullivan's car. Yellow flags in sectors 2 and 3. We're still riding along with Wei Louie. He's yet to set a time. And this might be his last effort. This might be his last chance, I should say, to set a time. The rain looks like it's starting to come down a little harder now. So Wei Lu comes across the line, good enough for 11, so that's a 1:15.0. So Kevin Harrison's the only driver to set a time. And I gotta say, it's probably, with the weather coming down and coming in, there's 8 minutes left to play in this session. This is probably going to be your running order, your starting order. We've got a lot of drivers that have crashed out. Well, I shouldn't say that they've crashed out. Some of them have called it a day, I guess, because of the weather coming in. So you're not going to be able to set a faster time. Steph Christensen's done for the day as well. So if it stands as is, Luis Wassman was the only one to go out and set a time on softs. So you see here, this was their best time set on what tires. So Luis Wassman was the only one to go out and try and set a time on soft tires. He ran a 1:12.0, which was 8/10 of a second quicker than Eric Pettington. Now Pettington set his time on the hards. So a little bit of a reverse race strategy there, but Wassman, I think, played the weather right in order to get that pole position. You do see a car going back out on track. There's 6:50 left to play in the session, but I don't think, no, that car's not going out on track. He's coming into the pits. So these times are pretty much going to stand where they're at. We're going to pick up Callum Jones. Now, interestingly enough, Jones is on an outlap on the soft tire. Oh, no, and that did not work out for him. And it looks like he might be parking it. There he goes. Getting it going now. So it looks like Jones, oh, it's not a leather helmet, it's a pumpkin head. Look at that helmet, there you go. Well, old pumpkin head is pulling off to the side, and looks like he may be, he's going to back it up here. There he goes, he has called it a day as well. So, unfortunately, the last 5 minutes of this session is going to be not much going on. Now, there's a lot of radio chatter going on behind the scenes. And Shay Fox, my resident weatherman, I missed the fact that he was telling me that rain was imminent in qualifying. So, Luis Wassman played that strategy perfectly, going out on softs and setting that time. So, 1:12.0. Here we've got one of the Toro Rossos. Looks like this would be Sean O'Sullivan. He's on the medium tires. Now there's some radio chatter going on between Sean, Jared Fosbury, Felix Negwer, and Shay Fox about some incident on track. So it looks like we're going to try and get everybody to retire. If everybody retires from the session, I believe the session would then be over, which would save us a few minutes. As not much is going to be going on. But it looks like there was an incident with Sean O'Sullivan on an outlap. Got in the way of Shay Fox. Now here is the other Toro Rosso. Now this is Thomas Mumford, and he's out on the soft tires as well. I wonder if he's going to try and set a time. We see Henry has retired from the session as well. And he is not going to be able to set a time. The DRS has now been officially disabled. The track is too wet. And Eric Pettington has retired from the session. So really we just need the last three drivers. Luis Wassman, Thomas Mumford, who's currently on track, and Kevin Harrison to all retire from the session. That would essentially end the session in the game. We would move on to the race start. And now the radio chatter is coming across, trying to get these other three drivers to retire from the session. And for whatever the case is, Mumford is going to try and do a lap in the rain on the soft tires. And that's immediately not going to work out heading into turn one, so let's just call it a day. And Thomas Mumford has retired from the session, so that leaves Luis Wassman and Kevin Harrison, and they have finally retired from the session. So now that everybody's retired, here is your starting order. Luis Wassman picking up a pole position. I think that might be his first pole all year, followed by Eric Pettington, Shea Fox, Callum Jones, Felix Negwer, Steph Christensen, Jared Fosbury, Henry Kukanen. Somebody wants to clarify that for me, it'd be great. Paco Suarez, Sean O'Sullivan, Thomas Mumford, and Wei Liu. Now, Kevin Harrison should be starting in the 13th spot. He was disconnected, rejoined. He wasn't able to qualify, so he should be starting 13th, which he's got the championship locked up. And he usually likes to start in the rear of the field anyways and use an alternate tire strategy to work himself through the field. So, and Shea Fox says it's Henry Heineken. Clever. Well, hopefully he is better than that awful, awful beer. So we'll wait for the grid to reset here. Looks like we've got clear skies for the race. Maybe Shea Fox, our resident weatherman, can shed some light on that for us. Will we be expecting clear skies the whole race? So, Luis Wassman, I don't think he's had a pole position all year. I would have to go back very far in order to find that. And it says Jared Fosbury has left the session. I'm not sure what's going on there. And this has been a little bit of a issue here. So we're doing a formation lap, it looks like. It started out very sloppy. So Luis Wassman is your pole sitter. And yes, Jared Fosbury is calling for a restart. There seems to be some sort of glitch in the lobby. So it looks like everybody's going to have fun crashing out. There goes a few of the drivers. Kevin Harrison has left the session. Callum Jones is now calling for a restart. So we've got a glitch in the lobby here. Not sure what happened. We'll stick with this until we can get more information. There's a nice one. So that's one way to get somebody to retire. So it looks like Shea Fox did say that we were expecting rain for the race. That'll probably change. Got lots of guys retiring, leaving the session. So I guess we will do the same. We see all the cars crashed, gone. That is quite hilarious. And we've got Lewis Marshall joining us on the live chat. Error, the session you were trying to join or spectate is no longer available. Lewis Marshall asking me if I'm a little bit hungover. Not as bad as you would think, but I was drinking and playing Rocket League last night while Lewis Marshall laughed in hysterics. So we'll join a new session. So JSG247 asking, since when is there damage on the formation lap? There was a glitch in the lobby. Not sure what had happened. There was I didn't even get the notification that that there was going to be a green light. I didn't even get to see the cars set on grid before there was already a calamity taken off. So we'll get new invites out. We'll skip the qualifying. We've already done qualifying. I'm assuming they'll do a custom grid. Get the drivers back in their respective orders before we launch into a 50% race. And Lewis Marshall wants to join for commentary. I don't see why not. It's always good to have a driver's perspective in the booth. See if I can get Lewis in here with me. I can remember his, what is that, Praga X30, I believe is what it was. There he is, apparently playing FIFA. So we'll get old Lewis Marshall in here with us. That'll be fun, having a driver in the booth with us. He races currently in SRL. I'm not sure if he does any IRL racing or not. I know that he has in the past, but he's currently battling for the championship in SRL as the Sandro Racing League. And while there are many SRL leagues, there's only one Sandro Racing League. Looks like we've got Lewis joining us now. I can hear myself in the background.
Oh, okay. Then, I don't know how to change that. That's it. Is that better?
No.
Oh.
I can hear everything you're doing.
Oh, okay. I don't know why it's extra.
Yeah, I can hear you clicking away on your PS menu.
Oh. I have no idea what's going on then.
It's like you don't have a headset on. You're listening to everything through your TV.
Yeah, I'm just trying to sort my mic out now. I'm just going to mute my mic for a second.
Sure. Well, we'll see if Lewis Marshall can get his... Should probably get him in here as well while we try and get this situated. have no idea what Shay Fox is trying to type to me. Now, Shay Fox is going on about the middle of the season, the middle of the season, the middle of the season. And Felix Negwer brings up a good point. Remember to start your race on the correct compound in which you qualified on. So Luis Wassman was our pole sitter. He did set his time on the softs. Eric Pettington was second on the hards. And honestly, I'm not 100% sure who was on after that. So we will run down driver lineup one more time. Felix Negwer in the Ferrari, Luis Wassman in the Racing Point, Kevin Harrison, Alfa Romeo, Paco Suarez in the Mercedes AMG Petronas. Napala is Henry Kukanen. He's going to be in the Haas. Thomas Mumford is in the Toro Rosso. Colin Jones in the Williams. Shay Fox, Red Bull Racing. Renault is going to be Eric Pettington and Steph Christensen. Sean O'Sullivan is in the Toro Rosso. Jared Fosbury in his McLaren. Wei Liu is going to be in the Williams. And Lewis Marshall, if he can get his headphone and microphone setup fixed, he'll be co-commentating with me in the booth.
Is that any better?
Let's take a look and listen. Yeah, I can still hear myself.
Oh, for God's sake.
So we'll see how it goes with everything going on. It's not too terribly bad right this second.
Is it a bit better at least, or?
But, smidge, I suppose.
I'm not sure what's wrong with it. As Jared knows in the chat, Mong brand. Even though they got that. That's me and Sondre in a different league.
So we'll wait for the grid to get set here. My only concern is if the echo comes through on the live stream itself.
Yeah. Jared, is the echo bad on stream as well?
See if Jared can send us a message. So here we go. Looks like we're finally going to get this started and underway. Here is the formation lap. So Luis Wassman is your pole sitter, ran a 112 flat on the soft tires. He'll be starting at the front of the field today. Be looking to try and stay there if he can, but nipping at his heels will be Eric Pettington in the factory Renault. 112.8 was his qualifying time on the hard tires. He's going to be looking to pick up another win and possibly contend for second in the points championship. Shay Fox starting third. He had 3 podiums in a row after coming home 5th last week in Hungary. He wants to try and get back to the podium if he can. And Callum Jones, newcomer to IRL, in his second race of the season. He finished 6th in his debut last week. See if he can work his way towards the front of the field, possibly get a podium finish. And Felix Negwer, your 2017 F1 champion, going to be running F2 from now on. He's got 2 podiums on the year. He'll be looking for a third as he starts 5th in the running order today. And then he's going to be followed by Steph Christensen, who has shown some promising speed but has had a little bit of bad luck. See if he can work his way through the field. And Jared Fosbury going to be starting in the 7th spot. He is still contending for the 2nd spot in the championship point standings and does not want to give it up. Defending F2 champion wasn't able to defend his title, but he wants to try and come home second if he can. Napala is a newcomer to the league, Henry Kukanen, I'm not sure how you say his last name. He'll be making his IRL F2 debut, starting in the 8th spot, see if he can work his way through the field, put some points on the board for Haas. And Paco Suarez, he'll be looking to just finish the race as he has a league-leading 11 DNFs to his credit. He has struggled all year. He'll be looking to see if he can put some points on the board for the first time in a long time. And Sean O'Sullivan will be in the Scuderia Toro Rosso today. was in the Haas prior to, but he'll be starting in the 10th spot. Thomas Mumford will be starting right behind him in 11th. Wei Liu will be in the Williams in 12th. And Kevin Harrison, your championship winner after last week, will be starting dead last as he was not able to make a qualifying time.
Yeah, I'm just saying I don't know many names in there.
And we have a yellow flag in Sector 3, even though everybody's on the grid. So anyways, lights are out. Time to run what you brung. And it's a good start by Luis Wassman as he dives into turn 1. A lot of shuffling going on in the back already. We've got 3 wide as they come out of the first corner. And this is Henry all the way to the inside. He's side by side with Paco Suarez as they come out of the corner, almost gets into the grass.
I'm guessing it's a wet qualifying because there's a different mixture of tyre compounds.
Yes, it was a wet qualifying. The session was done about with 5 minutes left to go. Everybody had retired because there was going to be nobody able to set a better time. And it looks like Eric Pettington has lost the spot. He's dropped down into 3rd. And a little bit of wing damage going on in the back. And this is Henry on Jared Fosbury, and they almost make contact with each other. And now to the inside, there's the Toro Rosso. Oh, no, and Henry gets pushed wide. And now races into the stadium section.
The race leader, Louis, I'm not sure what his name is, he's going to be struggling at the end of the race because he has to go in a 2-stop. So I don't think he's going to be winning today.
Well, Luis Wassman was the only driver in the qualifying that called on the weather. He set a time very early on the softs with 112 flat. Everybody else set their times on mediums and hards. So he was the only one to play the strategy right to get that pole position. Is there a possibility on those soft tires that he could gap the field long enough that he wouldn't give up too many spots on his first pit stop?
Possibly. He could try and pull away, but the Williams of I'm just going to call him TSR, is staying within a second, so he's going to struggle. He's going to be like close to the back probably at this rate.
Now, how long can those softs last in this condition?
I'm guessing about 7 laps. Because I think mediums go about 15, 16.
Well, Luis Wassman has been able to pull a second gap over Callum Jones running in 2nd spot. Eric Pettington getting some heat here from Felix Negwer. Negwer runs wide coming out of the penultimate corner and back onto the front stretch. Runs very wide at the last corner, and he's got Shea Fox all over the back of him now.
I still can't believe Felix is in F2 after winning the championship in 2017.
He is your F1 2017 champion. Unfortunately, due to the time constraints with his personal schedule and the fact that F1 runs on Saturdays at 1 in the afternoon, my time now, Felix Negwer was unable to make the races. As we look at the back of Jared Fosbury, the battle for 8th here. Napala going to the outside. Oh, we got a little bit of contact there.
Yeah, Fishy hit the Renault. Felix got past the Renault cleanly, then looks like the Red Bull just outbroke himself and just T-boned the Renault.
Yeah, you see the end plate is gone on Shea Fox's Red Bull. Felix Negwer able to get around Eric Pettington. Eric Pettington, another driver with F1 caliber speed. Very wide out there for Shea Fox. That lack of downforce, he's going to be struggling to make that corner, and he goes very wide. And he spins across the track and into the Armco. Yellow flag sector 3. He's lucky that didn't destroy the suspension, but Shea Fox now, front wing is completely gone. Yellow flag sector 3. Oh, and he's going to retire from the session. Shea Fox is going to rage quit. That is unfortunate.
Yeah, I would have carried on racing because with the new update, safety cars come out quite often now. So, like, if you saw yesterday's race, Rafa was in the lead and he spun, and the safety car helped him to get back to 2nd.
So that is too bad for Shea Fox. That's going to be his first DNF. Well, that's actually his second DNF. He crashed out at Spa while leading the race a few rounds ago. And Eric Pettington, as we were saying, this is another driver here in the factory. We know this is another guy with F1 speed. Him and Felix Negwer battling it out for the 3rd spot. Now, Eric Pettinson's another driver. He's got F1 caliber speed. Again, not able to make the races on Saturday. He was part-time most of this year in F2, where he was racing about every other week. He's currently battling for second in the championship point standings, even though he's only been a part-time driver. He's got 10 podiums to his credit after only being part-time, 6 of them being wins.
Oh, wow. Very good record for him.
I'm sorry, that's 8 podiums to his credit. 8 podiums. So he's got 6 wins, 2 second-place finishes, and 2 DNFs. And he's managed to work his way. He's currently 4th in points with 189 points to his credit. Jack Yates is currently 3rd in points with 211. And Jack Yates is not here today, so Eric Pettinson should be able to catapult himself into the 3rd spot. Possibly even second.
I think Lewis is starting to struggle on his softs now, as the Williams of TSR is catching him.
And while all that's going on, we've got a little bit of a battle here back at the front. This is Callum Jones, who's managed to get to the back of Luis Wassman's Racing Point. So lap 5, you said earlier that the softs may only go 7 or 8 laps, so Wassman may be starting to struggle with tire temperatures as well.
I feel like Felix could catch up to these two if the Racing Point holds him up.
And Shay Fox chimed in on the live chat displaying his displeasure for Eric Pettinson. Says Eric just pulls in front of me, not the first time he's done that to me. Unfortunately, that caused his wing damage, and then the wing damage caused him to go off. And I guess the frustration caused him to call it a day. Too bad for Shay Fox. He's definitely one of the crowd favorites. He had 3 podiums in a row going into the last round in Hungary, where he came home 5th. And Apollo, that is Henry, picks up 3-second time penalty for corner cutting. Hop on board with the Williams of Callum Jones. Looks like he might be trying to make a move heading down in the hairpin. Oh, and he's all over the back of Wassman's gearbox. That's very close. And you are right about the Racing Point of Wassman starting to hold up the Williams. Felix Negwer starting to close in on this gap. He's only about 1.8 seconds back from that battle for first. And a second and a half behind him is Eric Pettinson running in 4th. That is the lowest I've seen Eric run in a long time. He's got his teammate behind him, Steph Christensen, running in 5th. And Paco Suarez has worked his way into the 6th spot, running on the hard tires. Now, Lewis, on the hards, Paco will be looking to make a one-stop strategy for sure. What about the medium tires? If the guys run the mediums, will they be looking to make a one-stopper? As Luis Wassman heads into the pits on lap 7, just as you called it, the tires gave up after 7 laps.
Yeah, the mediums can do one-stops as well. If you pit about lap 14, 15, you should be able to take the hards to the end quite easily. As Jared spun it into turn 1.
Oh no, and Jared Fosbury. That is pit lane, and there goes one of the Racing Points flying by. Oh, and Jared Fosbury has been disqualified for blocking the pit lane as Luis Wassman was trying to come out. Oh my goodness, what a turn of events for Jared Fosbury.
Oh my god.
And now Sean O'Sullivan has just put a move on Kevin Harrison. Harrison trying to get the power down. Harrison is your F1 champion. I'm sorry, your F1 2019 F2 League champion. That is a lot to try and say. But he is your current champion for this season. Battling it out for the 7th spot. He's got the Toro Rosso behind him of Sean O'Sullivan, who is followed very closely by Wei Liu.
Just let you know, Felix is starting to catch the Williams. It's down to 1.1 seconds now.
We're going to stick with this 3-car battle, and I want to ask you about Luis Wassman. We saw him pit. He's come back out. Now, he is on the medium tires. Is he going to be doing a 2-stop, or can he stretch them all the way to the end of this race?
Yeah, he's on a definite 2-stop now. His race is pretty much ruined, in my opinion.
And Wei Liu's got a drag race going on with Sean O'Sullivan here. This is for the 8th spot. Crossover move. These two are going to battle side by side. Oh, and Wei Liu goes very wide coming out of the corner. Keeps the power down. DRS slot open. O'Sullivan's going to swerve back and forth. Wei Lu to the inside, heavy on the brakes. Crossover move by O'Sullivan.
Yeah.
And a great switchback by O'Sullivan to protect that position there. And while these two have been battling it out, Kevin Harrison's been able to skip away to almost a second over this battle. Wei Lu just picked up a 3-second time penalty. And now Felix Negwer is in DRS range as we head back to the battle for the lead.
I feel like the Williams is struggling at those tyres now in the lead. I'm just saying Williams because I have no idea what his name is.
That is Callum Jones. He's a newcomer. This is his second race for IRL.
Yeah, I feel like Callum could be struggling with his tyres then because I've raced Germany a couple of times this game and I remember the front left always burnt, like, and when you overheat it, it's so hard to just get the temps back down again. But he's actually weaving, looks like he's trying to warm up his tyres.
You do bring up a good point, though, about the left front on this track, because this is obviously a clockwise track. A lot of the corners here are right-handers, especially the high-speed sections like here and going into the stadium section. So it does put a lot of stress on that left front tire.
Plus turn one, when your tyres overheated at turn one, I feel like that could have what happened to Jared. He overheated his tyres and just understeered and just spun him.
Now, from a technical standpoint, had Luis Wassman not been in the pits at that time, would Fosbury have still been disqualified for blocking pit lane?
Probably not. I think that was just the awful timing for Jared.
You see Negwer is going to have a good run coming out of the first corner here. So he's going to have the DRS advantage. He's almost to the gearbox of the Williams. Jump on board with Felix Negwer as they run down this long backstretch here. He's got a good run coming out of this dog leg. And Jones is going to try and push him all the way down to the grass. Another side-by-side, wheel-to-wheel as they head into the hairpin. Negwer tries to get the power down. He's going to push Jones a little bit wide. Jones comes back onto the track. And Felix Negwer is your new leader. But Jones hasn't given up on this battle. He's going to go back to the inside. Big lock up there by the Williams.
Bit aggressive from Felix. Not used to Felix being quite that aggressive. If you remember back to the 2017 days, Felix was one of them like smooth drivers who just like really nice to wheel-to-wheel racing without any banging or anything.
And Jones hasn't necessarily given up on this fight, and now as it stands, Jones will have the DRS advantage as they head back around. So it doesn't look like Felix is going to be able to gap him far enough to get away from that. Now, Thomas Mumford has just picked up a 3-second time penalty. Big wiggle by Felix Negwer coming out of turn one, and that has allowed Jones to get to the side of him. And Jones thought about it, tucks back in line, tries to give him a little bit of the bump and run.
I like this from the Williams, getting DRS now. It gives him the advantage.
And you see Negwer's going to take the more defensive line, try and make him work to the outside, side by side. Ooh, Negwer's going to push him wide a little bit. Jones comes back onto the track right behind him. Nose to tail, you can throw a blanket over these two. Meanwhile, Luis Wassman has just made a move on on Sean O'Sullivan for the 9th spot. He was your first driver to make a pit stop. He was your pole sitter on those soft tires. I want to kind of keep an eye on him, see where he comes out after starting on pole. We've got this incredible battle going on for the first spot here.
I feel like AFL, is that Eric, I guess?
Yes, that is Eric Penton.
Yeah, Eric and Paco, I feel like could still win this race. Because them hard tyres, they're going to be faster than the mediums soon. So if these two catch up, then pit onto the mediums, they're going to be rapid at the end.
And Jones has got the DRS slot open. Paco Suarez did just pick up a 3-second time penalty, as did Steph Christensen as 4th and 5th. And
Felix
once again, DRS slot open on the Williams. Callum Jones. Negwer's going to take the more defensive line again, going to make him go to the outside. So great defensive driving by Felix Negwer. And Jones this time gets a good run coming out of that corner, tries to get the power down. Negwer able to keep in front, though.
Oh, contact.
Oh, and a little bit of contact there, and I don't think that was on purpose.
No.
And it looked like Callum could have easily taken that spot there, but he left it. They're going to go side by side. And this is a very tight section through here. You can only go single file through here. And they're somehow making it work side by side, shoulder to shoulder. And Eric Pettington is about to be on top of this battle. We're about to have ourselves a 3-car battle here for the lead. Somehow Felix Negwer was able to hold off the hard-charging Callum Jones, but between the two of them, Eric Pettington's been able to catch him.
Yeah, Felix and Callum need to keep their heads. They're probably both frustrated at each other. So right now it just matters about keeping calm.
And now Eric Pettington is going to have the DRS advantage. We're going to look out the back real quick of the Williams. And again, Felix Negwer all the way down to the grass. Whoa, what a big move by the Williams. Unbelievable move by Callum Jones to try and take that spot. But Eric Pettington's going to get the power down and into the grass, and Jones is off into the grass. He comes back on and loses a couple of spots. That was a very aggressive move by Callum Jones, and I got to give him huge props for trying to make that work.
He's struggling now, though. His tires have gone.
And Eric Pettington now finds himself in the second spot. And this is kind of the battle I was interested in seeing because these are two F1 caliber drivers running in F2. And Paco Suarez finds himself sitting in a podium position for the first time in a very, very long time. As we said earlier, Paco has struggled this year with his rig at home. He's had some throttle issues with the car. He's been having some issues with the handling model of F1 2019. He was very fast last year in F1 2018. He has struggled mightily this year. And Callum Jones does dive into the pits.
Look at Eric as well. He's got a full battery, so he can push as much as he wants.
So I got to give props to Callum Jones. He read Felix Negwer. He set that move up in the last 3 laps. If he could have made that stick, that would have been amazing. But he read Felix Negwer to a T, trying to make that move to the inside. And that was some very good driving by those drivers. And as you said, they probably became frustrated with each other. You could see that. It was coming to a boiling point. Now, in your experience as a driver, I mean, you've had some issues with some drivers on track before. Is it, I mean, what is the psychology there? I mean, you feel like you're faster, you should be able to pull away, but you just can't get rid of them? It's like a fly that won't leave your head alone when you're trying to eat at a barbecue.
Yeah, pretty much. Because it's because of the slipstream and DRS. It's just so hard to pull away nowadays. So you literally have to risk it all just to push. And because you do that, you're more likely to crash.
And Felix Negwer dives into the pit, so that is going to hand the lead over to Eric Pettington, and Paco Suarez finds himself in the second spot. And newcomer to Paula 185, Henry finds himself running in third all by his lonesome. And Kevin Harrison, who didn't even set a qualifying time, who started in 13th spot, moves up into the 4th position. And Luis Wassman finds himself running back in the top 5.
Yeah, Lewis has to pit again, though. I'm guessing about...
Oh, and he dives to the inside of Kevin Harrison. Oh, he doesn't make the move, and then he's got Wade Liu and the other Williams out. So we've got a 3-car battle going here for the 4th spot. Oh, and a big lock up there by Luis Wassman on that left front.
Look at Paco as well. He's getting closer to the Renault of Eric. Oh, Kevin almost hit the wall then.
Now, technically, Paco Suarez is still in DRS range, but it's 9/10 of a second. He's not going to be close enough to try and make a move. And he's losing a little bit more ground to Eric Pettington lap after lap.
As Kevin spit in. So
Kevin Harrison dives into the pits, and that moves Luis Wassman up into the 4th spot.
Felix is getting back up there. Yeah, look at Paco now. He can see.
And Paco did close that gap now. That's around about half a second.
That's how much the DRS helps you. It's huge. As there's a battle going on for P7 between Steph and
side by side, Steph Christensen and Callum Jones. Ooh, and Jones going to try and go around the outside. And Jones tried making this move on Felix Negwer in this section last time, too. And that's a very tight section to try and make a move like that.
Yeah, I just noticed Steph as well. It's on new hards, so he's got a huge undercut on the Williams. There's that Toro Rosso's in the pits.
And that is Sean O'Sullivan diving in to make his first pit stop. Moves Felix Negwer back into the 5th position. Paco Suarez, meanwhile, is still trying to find a way around Eric Pettington. And it looks like, he thought about it.
Paco needs to be patient here. Try and force Eric into a mistake, maybe.
Yeah, the psychology there is I think Paco has struggled so much this season. I'm afraid that he's going to get a little overzealous trying to make a move, when really he should just concentrate on hitting his marks and finishing a race.
Yeah.
He's had quite a number of issues this year with his rig at home,
Callum and Steph going back at it again.
And they are side by side, and once again through this very tight stadium section here. There's a couple stadium sections through here. There's this one and then the next one where they actually head into the stadium on this sweeping right-hander here. And it becomes very narrow through here. Oh, and Jones is off the gravel again. And you just can't go side by side through there. It's very much one lane.
Yeah, pretty much. It's getting frustrating now. I can tell where he's driving.
Well, I think there Jones really needs to pick his spot.
I think that's what Paco's doing now.
Well, Paco looks like he's closing that gap again once down into the hairpin. He's really able to close it up under the DRS, but he loses a little bit of ground coming back out of the hairpin.
Expect these two to pit soon as well. Mediums can go to the ends now, so Paco could go for an undercut. And I think that would be smart from Paco if he goes for the undercut.
And while we've been watching all these battles, I just want to bring note to Jared Fosbury has expressed his displeasure with the game as we see Paco Suarez head into the pit, so maybe he will try the undercut.
Yeah,
but Jared Fosbury says, screw this game. Seriously, I'm done not racing next week. And looks like this was back in reference to we asked about him being disqualified for blocking pit lane. He said, no, I waited for him. If I moved, we would have hit. This game is stupid. So Fosbury, while technically blocking pit lane, he waited for Wasserman to move before he tried backing up, and apparently that was not good enough for the in-game stewards.
Yeah, that was harsh from the game.
Now we're going to watch Paco Suarez here. He just came out of the pits in 5th spot. Be interesting to see if Eric Pettington dives into the pits this time by. Halfway through this race.
Callum and Steph's still going at it down at the hairpin.
And the battle for 6th will not stop. Steph Christensen tries to get back onto the power. Jones finally has the position, but for how long? And we've got a yellow flag, sector 3.
That's Toro Rosso. It's Mumford.
Ah, you stupid game. Ah!
Looks like his mediums are just dead. And
oh my goodness, and Steph Christensen is off into the grass.
Oh, has he got damage?
Him and Jones have been going at it.
He's got no damage.
So I don't know if those two maybe made some contact with each other, put each other into the grass.
Look at Kevin now.
And Paco Suarez did get in front of Eric Penton, so the undercut did work.
Yeah, rate that from Paco.
He's got a second gap over Eric Penton. Meanwhile, Kevin Harrison is all over the back of Callum Jones now, so Harrison finds himself in the middle of this Jones and Steph Christensen sandwich, which has been going back and forth with each other the last number of laps. So Harrison all the way down to the inside. He's going to be able to make this pass into the hairpin. And now Steph Christensen's going to be all over the back of Callum Jones once more. Oh, we've got Toro Rosso around. Who is that?
Mumford again.
That is Mumford again. He's going to pull to the side. So Thomas Mumford is struggling just to even get the car going.
I think Paco could actually win this race. Well, win the race on track. I'm not sure what penalties look like, but that Napala guy has the pit. Got 20 laps on mediums he's done now.
That is Henry Kukanen. Paco Suarez just set the fastest lap, so he is pushing the car, but I'm pretty sure Suarez has got at least one 3-second time penalty. I'm not 100% sure about Eric Penton. Watching this 4-car battle back here, though, this is Callum Jones with Steph Christensen and Wei Liu. So Steph Christensen's in the middle of a Williams sandwich, and Luis Wassman is...
He's pitted again.
So he did make his second pit stop. He's back down to 9th. So he's good to go for the rest of the race.
So I feel like Louis could possibly get P6. Actually, possibly P5 when Napala pits.
And this is now a 4-car battle. Oh, and look at this. Christensen to the inside of Jones, and these two have not been able to leave each other alone. And look at this. Jones tries to sweep across the nose of Christensen's Renault. And now they're side by side. And you cannot go side by side through here. They have learned that the last couple of laps. Meanwhile, Suarez is closing up on the back end of Felix Negwer. And another 3-second time penalty for Felix Negwer. Back to this 4-car train as they head back out onto the front stretch.
Steph's in a Williams sandwich right now.
Meanwhile, Eric Penton's got the DRS slot open as he tries to close up in the gap to Felix Negwer. Suarez tries to sweep to the outside. And Suarez tries to go around Felix Negwer. He's not able to get the power down. These two touch wheels. Here comes Eric Penton. And Penton gets the power down. And he's able to make the move on Paco Suarez.
Good
and that being said, Eric Penton has set his sights on Felix Negwer. He's going to be the next one on the hit list. And Jones and Christensen side by side. The battle for 6th rages on. And then now here comes Christensen and the other Williams. Luis Wassman tries to dive to the inside. I can't keep up with everything that's going on track.
How have these two not crashed yet?
This has been some really good driving from Christensen and Jones. And Eric Penton is all over the back of Felix Negwer.
Look at Paco.
And Paco's going to get double the DRS. Oh no, Paco! I thought he was going to outbrake himself heading into that corner, but he makes the move on Eric Penton. What a power play!
Oh my god, what a race.
And Eric Penton's got the DRS slot open. And he's going to pick up double the slipstream. He doesn't know where to go or what to do.
Look at Felix though.
You get a yellow flag, sector 2 and 3.
I think that's Mumford again.
And Mumford continues to struggle. Oh my goodness, this is side by side. And Felix is about to lose the position. Now he hangs on to it. Meanwhile, the positions are swapping in 7th, 8th, and 9th. That 4-car battle that's been raging on. But we're going to watch this battle for the podium here. Paco Suarez moves in the 2nd spot. Felix Negwer loses a spot. Luis Wassman just got around Steph Christensen for the 7th spot.
Oh, they're side by side into the stadium.
And we're going to go back to that 4-car battle here. So finally, there's a car that's able to split Christensen and Jones. And that is Luis Wassman trying to figure out a way to get out of this mess that he put himself into. Meanwhile, Felix Negwer is going to be running third. He's going to have the DRS advantage.
Look at this. The top three, Paco, Felix and Eric, they're all catching a leader who hasn't pitted yet.
And here goes Negwer all the way to the inside. Oh, crossover move. Paco can't get the power down. Eric Penton almost gave him the chrome horn.
The race leader's going to get in the way of these guys.
Unbelievable racing going on here. Henry Kukanen has run a very long first stint. 10 laps to go in this race.
He's probably going to go to softs for the end, I'm guessing. Mediums to soft is a mega strategy if he makes it work. It depends where he finishes. Or maybe he's just waiting for a safety car as he stays out another lap.
And Thomas Mumford is officially retired from the session. I'm not sure if that is due to a crash or if he just finally decided to retire. It's a yellow flag in Sector 3.
I can see his
and here goes Suarez. Tries to get to the inside of Negwer, and this three-car battle has caught Henry, and Henry is going to be struggling to try and stay out in front. Suarez to the outside. He picks up another 3-second time penalty. We look out the back. Oh, no, he's in the grass.
Paco. No.
And Mumford is officially retired from the session. Big lockup by Negwer. Look at this, 3 wide into the hairpin. Unbelievable. Henry's not going to be able to stick with this battle here. And Paco Suarez is able to pull a few car lengths over Felix Negwer. And now Negwer and Penton find themselves side by side as they head to the next corner. Penton almost outbreaks himself. Henry hasn't given up on this battle. He's still trying to stick with Felix.
What happens down the straight down to the hairpin? It looks like Paco just swiped Felix.
Didn't have a good view of it on the stream. I was actually looking at the back of Felix Negwer's car.
I'm still looking at the battle for P6, sorry.
Yeah, that is a 4-car battle that has not quit. And when Eric Penton just had a moment come out of the first corner, a big wobble there. He's got the DRS advantage.
Paco's going to be like a sitting duck down the straight now, so it could be 3 wide again.
We're going to hop on board with Felix Negwer. But Penton's going to be the one with the closer battle. Oh, and here goes Penton. And Paco runs him all the way down to the grass. Penton's able to get to the inside. Suarez, there goes the tail.
Contact. Felix tapped Paco, but there's no damage.
Oh, and Paco. Oh, Paco, hang on to it. He dives back to the inside. Look at Penton. Oh, and he's going to give him a little bit of the bump and run, and now it's 3 wide. Felix Negwer goes shoulder to shoulder. Thinks better of it. Dives back out.
I just hope Paco keeps his head.
And Paco out in front. Now, I got to ask you real quickly. Henry is running in 4th. He's yet to make a pit stop. What is going on in his head? Should he have made a pit stop sooner, or should he make it now?
He's pitting now. I think it's just waiting for a safety car. That just never happened.
That's a good point. With all the action going on track, if he's watching the stream, he's hearing how exuberant we are with some of these battles and how close they are. So it may have been a good strategy to try and wait for a safety car, but he's going to drop all the way to 10th.
Yeah, if it's a safety car now, he could possibly win this race, so it could change like that.
Now Eric Penton's going to go to the inside. Felix Negwer's got his DRS slot open. It's a 3-car battle for the lead. This is unbelievable.
You don't see this in real life.
You will never see this in a Formula 1 race under the current rules and regulations.
Yeah, maybe in 2021, but I highly doubt it.
And Jones is just, now this 4-car battle back here hasn't quit. Jones is trying to get the 5th spot from Luis Wassman. We're going to stick with this battle for the lead, though, because this 3-car battle for the lead, I mean, it's unbelievable. Meanwhile, Kevin Harrison is running in 4th all by his lonesome. He's 11 seconds behind the battle for the lead, and he's 4 seconds ahead of the battle for fifth, as Jones and Wassman swap places once more.
Kevin pretty much just needs the newspaper and just read the news.
Now, Paco Suarez has lost a little bit of ground to Eric Pettington, as has Felix Negwer.
Felix is saving his battery, I think. Only a few laps left as well.
Yeah, the laps are winding down. Looks like things have rested here for a hot second. We're going to take a quick jump back here. Now this is Callum Jones looking to make a move, and he sweeps to the inside of Luis Wassman. Now this is now a 5-car battle for one spot. You've got Luis Wassman, followed by Callum Jones, followed by Steph Christensen, followed by Wei Lu, followed by Sean O'Sullivan. Oh no, there's contact there. Jones makes a little bit of contact, loses, almost spun the car, and now he finds himself behind Steph Christensen again.
Literally glued together.
Luis Wassman able to gap this battle by a second, but Steph Christensen's coming back hard.
Let's look at the leaders, look at Paco.
And Paco would take a jump back up front to check on Paco Suarez as he continues the battle for the lead here. He's going to have the DRS advantage coming out of this corner.
Imagine what Jared could do racing these guys as well.
And Henry just picked up the fastest lap of the race. He's currently running in 10th. He's about to join that 5-car battle. The only position that does not have a battle currently is 4th, because Kevin Harrison is still running all by himself.
I think Lou's actually catching him as well.
So Felix Negwer has lost ground with this battle. He's 8/10 off of second. Paco Suarez still half a second behind Eric Pettington. I know for a fact time penalties are going to be an issue at the end of this race. I know Paco Suarez has at least one, possibly two. I'm pretty sure Felix has possibly one. Eric, I don't think has one, but I've been wrong. I usually am most times, but I've been wrong in the past. And now Felix Negwer is officially out of DRS range. However, Luis Wassman has got Steph Christensen all over his gearbox as they head through the stadium section.
Yeah, look at, is it Henry on the softs? We're in the seconds now, these guys.
Yeah, and he is currently running in the 10th spot.
It's a 6-car battle now.
Yeah, you could throw a blanket over these 6 cars, and, I mean, it at any moment could end in tears for a number of drivers when you're racing this close together.
Yeah.
Suarez, though, very close to Eric Pettington now. He's closed up on the gearbox as he heads into the first part of the stadium section.
Felix is back in DRS as well.
And Steph Christensen just got around Luis Wassman, and now Wassman's got Jones to his inside. Oh, and a big lock up there by Wassman. He's going to push Jones wide. And Steph Christensen was able to check out. He's almost a second gap over Luis Wassman. 4 laps remaining in what has been a very hectic German Grand Prix.
Non-stop action, literally.
It's been very hard to keep up with everything that's been going on track. And Henry's going to be looking to make a move for the 9th spot.
He's on a fresh soft, so traction's going to be helping him massively.
Now just about all these guys have DRS advantage.
This is literally like NASCAR, just slipstream, just slipstream each other.
Ooh, man, and a couple of guys. Oh, the Toro Rosso almost outbroke itself.
Yeah,
that was O'Sullivan winning deep. Meanwhile, Jones dies. They're side by side with Luis Wassman once again. And for whatever reason, Jones likes that run coming out of that corner and down into that sweeping left-hander. He's been trying to make a move there all day. And now Suarez is almost to the gearbox of Eric Pettington. 3 laps remaining in what has been crazy racing.
Imagine the crash on the final lap.
You know, it would not surprise me if Kevin Harrison walked away with a win because of some sort of tragedy on this track.
That'd be hilarious. Let's look at Paco.
Paco's going to try and go to the inside. He does get a nose ahead of him. He runs Pettington out to the marbles, and now Negwer's going to try and get the power down. He's side by side with him. And Negwer's going to be able to make the move, so Pettington, Pettington's coming back. Oh, but he almost blew the corner. Negwer back to the inside, tries a crossover move.
This is Paco's.
Meanwhile, Luis Wassman was able to jump back in front of Christensen for the 5th spot. Henry was able to get around O'Sullivan for the 9th spot. And this has been crazy. This is just, there's so much going on track right now.
Looks like such a fun race to be a part of. Oh, Steph had a massive moment then at stadium section. Lucky not to bin it.
And he'll hop on board with Callum Jones. He is going to have a good run coming out of that corner. Once again, Jones finds himself trying to find his way around Christensen. These two have not been able to get away from each other. Oh, and a time penalty for Christensen. The running order is going to be shuffled at the end of this race for sure, with all these time penalties.
Oh, switchback for Callum.
And now they're side by side as they head down the straightaway.
For about the 100th time this race.
And Christensen to the inside, going to try and outbrake him, not able to pull it off.
Let's look at Eric.
And Henry gets a good run coming out of that corner, so he's going to be able to pick up the 8th spot over Wade Liu. Ooh, and it's very tight going to that. Oh my goodness, and Christensen was 4 off into the turf.
This last lap of the race now, and I don't think anyone's going to touch.
And Felix Negwer just picked up a 3-second time penalty.
Oh wow, Felix.
So back to the battle for the lead. This is Paco Suarez. Now I know he's got a couple time penalties. Be interesting to see where he's able to finish.
Imagine if Kevin wins on pens.
And that would have to be at least 4. No, it'd have to be
5 seconds.
Yeah, it'd have to be 5 3-second time penalties. And even then, that would still, he would probably need.
Probably wouldn't be enough.
Yeah.
Oh, Williams went really deep there. And that was Razor.
That is Wei Liu.
Look at Henry, by the way. He's trying to get past Steph now.
Here comes Paco Suarez. Now, Suarez is going to be first across the line. We'll see what the time penalties do. And it does hand the win over to Eric Pettington, but that is a big time. Now we've got this 5-car battle. The Toro Rosso, that's O'Sullivan goes in very deep. Callum Jones trying to get in front of Steph Christensen. And these guys are cutting every corner they can to get every piece of real estate. So it's going to be, I don't even know where they're going to finish. Time penalties are going to be, I don't even know what it was.
No, neither.
Ridiculous. So it looks like Steph Christensen comes across 10th because of time penalties. So unbelievable race, unbelievable race. So here's Eric Pettington able to pick up another win. This is Eric Pettington's 7th win of the season as a part-time driver. A huge, huge day there for Paco Suarez. Comes across first, takes home second because of time penalties. That is going to be a big day for him. I cannot wait to have that interview. Felix Negwer with his third podium finish of the year. I'm pissed, F you, the Ferrari, says Shay Fox. So here's your finishing order. Eric Pettington, Paco Suarez, Felix Negwer, Kevin Harrison, Luis Wassman 5th, Sean O'Sullivan is 6th, Henry Buchanan is 7th, Wade Lewis 9th, Wade Lewis 8th, Callum Jones is 9th, Steph Christensen is 10th, and 11th through 13th, that's Thomas Mumford, Shay Fox, and Jared Fosbury, all DNFs. But what an amazing race. What an amazing race. Action. Now, I'm going to get Eric Penton. And I definitely want to have an interview with Paco Suarez. So let me see if I can find everybody here. It's annoying some of these guys show offline that I got to go through this giant list of people. So there's Eric, there's Felix. And I need to find... I don't even have his Suarez 33 whatever as a friend. Oh, well, let me get Eric in here. Eric might have him, or Felix might have him. And yeah, Steph Christensen. We got Sondre Sorhaug saying, well done, Paco. We got Steph Christensen on there saying, wow, what a race. So good to know, Christensen. Here's Felix Negwer. Felix, is there any chance that you were friends with Paco?
Usually yes, but at this race that has kind of gone out the window. I think it was like hard but fair for the first half, but then Paco felt like I treated him unfairly because I told him that I was full lock on the steering wheel during the through the hairpin. And like my turning angle, I couldn't turn more, so I left as much space as I could. But like that was as much as I could have given him in terms of space. And then afterwards, I told him I was right next to him on the straight. I told him I was there. And yeah, it was because it was the way when we restarted the lobby.
Oh, it's a restart.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations on another podium, Felix. That was quite a race today between you, Paco, and Eric. And Eric, you're walking away with another win. This time, due to time penalties, did you know that the time penalties would be a factor, or was Paco able to really just outrun you today?
A combination of both. I think Paco had an amazing race, especially today. I just didn't have any, I wasn't comfortable with my setup the whole race and the qualifying, but when I heard he has 6 seconds of penalties, I just knew it was stay in the DRS train, not gonna do any stupid maneuvers, and if he want to get past me then he can, so it was like calculated drive. Maybe not the most exciting for the viewers, but yeah, I'm walking out with the victory. But yeah, I'm happy of that. But I have to say, nice fighting between Felix and Paco Suarez. I was sure we're gonna crash out at some point, but GG, man, and great.
Well, it was definitely exciting for the viewers, and Paco, it's been a long time coming. Finally, a podium finish for you in what has been an abysmal season. Congratulations. How does it feel to come across the line first, but unfortunately getting second?
Well, it's weird to be here, right? It's been a hard season. I haven't had the best of the luck, but finally in this race, I got the pace, I got the consistency, and I was able to keep with Felix and Eric, and we had an awesome battle during the race. Really tough, but we had respect for each other. And in the end, I was so frustrated because I had that penalty, you know. But still, it's a podium finish. Doesn't matter if Felix gets his penalty removed or not. I'm really happy because in the end, it's like you could call it like compensation for the whole season, you know. But like I've been having.
Well, that's awesome. You have struggled a lot this year, and I want to talk about it a little bit. Unfortunately, 11 DNFs to your credit. Not all of them a product of your driving. You've had some rig problems apparently this year with your pedals and your steering wheel. Have you been finally able to get that throttle problem situated, or do you plan on running into that again possibly next race?
No, actually, I mean, I've solved all the issues I had. Apart from that, I finally get used to the game more or less. I still have my issues sometimes, but I think I'm now good. And yeah, probably in the next race, well, try to do the same.
Well, congratulations on what has been an amazing race. A lot of guys are going to be happy that you came across with the podium. Eric, I want to go back to you real quick. You're able to close the gap for third in the points to Jack Yates, mostly because he wasn't here today. Moving into the last round, are you looking to try and? Would it be like kind of like winning the championship for you if you were able to come home second in points, even though you're part-time driver? That kind of some sort of satisfaction to that.
Hey, before I answer that question, I want to quickly say, Paco Sawyer said to me a couple of weeks ago, if he doesn't win a race this season, he will save his head bald. So I'm going to say that to stream, that he has to save his head. But yeah, it would be like a championship if I finished P2 or P3. Like, we all know how many races I've missed, but Kevin really did deserve the championship this season. We are not going to take anything away from that. Kevin is the champion and that's it, but it would be awesome to finish second. And just behind him would be like a maximum result of the season to me. But yeah, Paco, you have to save your head, by the way.
No, there's still one race to go. I have an opportunity.
Yeah, you have opportunity too. No, but you remember, everybody's now clipped that and recorded that, so...
Oh my.
And Felix, you get your third podium of the year. You'll be able to move your top 10 in points. I mean, that's not a big thing. You've only made a handful of races, but I mean... Is this kind of like a learning process for you to try and see what it's like to race with some of these guys and maybe prepare yourself a little bit for next year as you go to race full season in F2?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I originally rejoined IRL for, to get to race these guys again because I get along well with pretty much everyone out of the league. And yeah, today proved to be very fun again. And yeah, I think this is quite a good preparation because obviously you get to know the drivers, you get to know how you should, go into a fight with a certain person or something, and to get like a few podiums this season feels good, especially at my home track, and to be able to race with Eric, who's usually way out of my league, is really fun. And congratulations to Paco and Eric for today's race.
Well, I want to say congratulations to all three drivers. Lewis, you got anything you want to ask him or add to today's race? Very crazy race to try to keep up with.
Yeah, it was. I'll try and think of one quickly.
I mean, for you guys that were on track, I mean, I know you were concentrating on your battle 1 through 3. We had to do a lot of switching back between you guys in the battle for 5th because the 5th through like 9th was a 5-car battle for one position. The only spot that didn't have any battle today was Kevin Harrison, who ran all by himself all day in the 4th spot. He was like 11 seconds behind you guys and like 5 seconds ahead of 5th. Other than that,
I have to. Can I say a word? In my screen, at least, Kevin was leading the whole way. So I don't know. Was it with Paco and Felix?
Eric. Actually, Kevin had the same issue with you. I think it was like a nut type between you both.
But Did you see him in the track ahead? Like, I
No,
saw him,
no.
he's Alpha in P1. That's why I had to
No,
slow down in some corners.
But Kevin was seeing you behind him, so it was a thing between you both.
Okay, you continue, Lance. I'm sorry to interrupt.
That's all right, because Kevin was running by himself all day in fourth.
Okay.
He was 11 seconds behind you guys, and he was 5 seconds in front of fifth. And fifth through like ninth was, or fifth through like 10th at one point was just a 5-car, 6-car battle for one spot. So the stream was definitely worth watching. It'll be fun to watch it back. So heading into the last round, guys, that's going to be next week, and it's going to be good old Brazil, a proper track to finish the season off in. Moving forward, is Brazil a good track for any of you guys? I think last week, Eric, you said it wasn't was that Felix? It's not one of your better tracks.
Yeah, Brazil, I don't expect much, but I'll just wait and see. Hopefully, I'm here to have fun in the end, especially this season, because like I said, I can't do anything in the championship because of the amount of races I've done. And in the end, I'm here to have some fun, and that's what my goal is for next race too. And I'm looking forward to the racing because it's always quite good in league races in Brazil. But I don't think pace is going to be that great as it was today.
And Eric, moving forward to the last round, what are your expectations out of Brazil?
It's a very good track, done it every game. It's like maybe I'm not the quickest, but I enjoy it because of history and real life, Senna and stuff like that. So best way to finish the season is to drive last race in Interlagos instead of Abu Dhabi, which is not in the level of Brazil.
And Paco, what can we expect out of you going into the last race?
Well, lately I've been doing good despite my crash last race, and today I think it's like a confirmation. So probably in Brazil I'll have an issue with the S's. I always get many penalties, many warnings there, so I'll have to watch out for that. But I hope that I can actually fight for the win and maybe be up there and say goodbye to the season in... Yeah, exactly. Just to avoid shaving my head. But yeah, I hope to say goodbye to the season in a good way and with a victory.
Well, congratulations to all three drivers today. Unbelievable race. And I want to thank Lewis Marshall for being in the booth with me. Good to always have a driver's perspective. What it's like to be on track, and hopefully he can get his headset situated for future races if he does any. So guys, check us out next week. It'll be the last round for IRL F2. It'll be the championship weekend, even though the championship's been locked up in F1 and F2. I'm not 100% sure about the point standings in F3, but be sure to check us out. Like, subscribe, and comment to the IRL YouTube channel. Check out all the videos, and I'll be highlight videos later this week. Be sure to check us out online, International Racing League-IRL.com. And you can check us out on Twitter at F1_IRL. Be sure to like, subscribe, and follow us there on Twitter. Guys, it's been an amazing race, and we'll see everybody next week at the final round of the season.